Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tashi, and in this video I'm going to be teaching you how to make a crocheted stool cover. Oh, what is that? Stool cover or a crochet chair cover. This is a beginner friendly tutorial, so for my advanced crocheter friends out there, just keep in mind that this is a slowed down tutorial, but if you'd like to speed it up, you can. There is a setting for that. This was very fun to make, very easy, very quick, and it's super cool. It adds a little like funk to your house. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so for this tutorial, you'll be needing a 5mm crochet hook or US H hook, a pair of scissors, a tapestry needle, and then here I have 6 different color yarns. You don't have to use 6 different color yarns, but you can use however many colors you'd like. I'm just using these colors to get a gradient effect on mine. But yeah, I'm using 100% acrylic yarn. You can use whatever yarn you'd like for this. So let's get started. Okay, so to start, we're going to go ahead and grab our center yarn color or our yarn. We're going to make a magic circle. So to do so, you're just going to put your yarn over your 3 fingers, hold with your thumb, grab this yarn and go around the back, and then cross it like this and twist your fingers to the front and hold that down with your pinky. You're going to grab your hook and you're going to go under this first loop to grab this back loop. So go under and pull that loop through. Twist the hook towards you, grab this back loop again, so grab that back loop and pull it through that loop, and then you can remove your fingers and you should have a ring or a magic circle. So this is where we're going to be working all of our first rounds of double crochets right into this ring here. So from here we're going to chain 3, so 1, 2, 3. And that's going to count as our first double crochet. So we're going to make 2 more double crochets into this ring. We're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the ring, pull up a loop. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. Okay, so that's 2 double crochets with your chain 3 counting as a double crochet. You're going to make 1 more double crochet into the ring. Pull up a loop, you should have 3, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. So you should have your first cluster here of 3 double crochets. You're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and you're going to make another cluster of 3 double crochets. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2, and then you're going to make 2 more. I am going to move a little bit quicker now, but if you do still need time practicing your double crochets, you can go ahead and pause the video here and then slow it down so you can get the hang of it. So there is 2 clusters of 3 double crochets with the chain 2 in the middle. We're always going to chain 2 in between our clusters. So that's my chain 2 there, and we're gonna make 6 clusters of 3 double crochets with a chain 2 in the middle. So you just have to make 4 more clusters there with a chain 2 in the middle. Okay, so I'm gonna make 4 more clusters with a chain 2 in the middle. And then when you're working your clusters in this ring, try not to pull on your ring too much because it can loosen up. It can shorten your tail, and you don't want that to happen because it will unravel. So if it is starting to get a little bit short, just keep pulling it a little bit closed so you don't have to worry about it close or loosening up on you. Okay, so I have here 3 double crochets. I'm going to chain 2. So I'm just going to make 3 more clusters with a chain 2 in between each cluster. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just have to make one more. Okay, and then I'm going to finish off with a chain 2. So now we're going to pull our magic ring closed. So you're going to grab this tail end here and you're just going to pull it to close your circle. Okay, so this is what it should look like. It's okay if it keeps opening up. You can sew it together at the end if you'd like, but I kept mine open just because I liked the way it looked when I put it on the stool. But from here, we're going to go ahead and slip stitch into the top of this first chain 3 that we did. That counted as our first double crochet. So insert your hook into the top there, into the first chain. Pull up a loop and pull through that loop again to make a slip knot or slip stitch, sorry. And then we're going to chain 1 and we're going to fasten off. Or if you're going to keep the same color, you can go ahead and just skip this step, but we're going to pull tight to secure that knot there. And that's our first round. So from here, we're going to go ahead and grab our next color and we're going to make a slip knot. So to do so, it's kind of like the same steps as making a magic ring, but using our fingers instead. So you're going to hold the yarn over the 3 fingers, hold with your thumb, go around the back, cross, and hold with your pinky. Take your pointer, your pincher fingers, go under this first loop and pinch and grab this back loop and remove your fingers, still holding onto that loop and pulling tight to make a knot. You're going to take your hook again and put it through this loop, separate these two, and then pull tight, but not too tight, so you have some wiggle room like that. And now we're going to insert our hook into the nearest chain 2 spot from this stitch that we ended on. So I'm going to go right into this chain 2 space. Okay, so I'm going to insert my hook and I'm just going to go ahead and make a slip stitch like that. And I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, because that's going to count as our first double crochet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work my ends into my project here so I don't have to weave in so many ends at the end of the project. So I'm just going to hold this behind each stitch so that I can work it into the project. So I'm going to hold that there and I'm going to make 2 more double crochets into this same space here. So I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook, pull up a loop and make a double crochet, yarn over, make another double crochet into the same space, and then we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to make an increase. So I'm going to make 3 more double crochets into the same space. Okay, so yarn over, insert my hook, pull through 2, pull through the last 2, and then make 2 more. So that's 2, we have to make 1 more. Okay, and then we're going to chain 2 to finish off that increase. So this is what it should look like. It should be 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and then you're going to chain 2 to move on to the next chain 2 space. Again, bringing your yarn over with you. You're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the next chain 2 spot, and make another increase, which is just 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Again, if I'm moving too fast, you can pause it and go into the settings in the right hand corner and hit the slow down button. So I just did 3 double crochets and I chained 2, and I'm going to make 3 double crochets right into the same spot to make it increase. Making sure I'm working my end into the project. If you don't want to work your ends in, that's okay. You can just weave them in at the end. Okay, so now I'm going to chain 2 to move on to the next space, bringing my yarn over. I'm bringing these 2 yarns over now. I'm going to find my next chain 2 space, which is here, And we're just going to repeat that all the way around. So we're going to do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and then chain 2, move on to the next space. Okay, so I will meet you at the end of this round. Okay, so once you've done your last increase and you chain 2, you're going to go ahead and slip stitch right into the top of that chain 3 space. So you're going to insert your hook into the top of that chain 3, and you're going to make a slip stitch. You're going to chain 1 to secure, and then you're going to grab your scissors and fasten off. Pull tight to secure that knot. And that is your second round. This is what it should look like. It should be 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2 to move on to the next space. And you should have, let me look at my notes here. You should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 clusters, okay? So now we're gonna grab our next color. And again, you're going to be making a slip knot. Grab your hook, insert in the loop, and pull tight, but not too tight. And then we're going to insert our hook into any of these chain 2 spaces. So even the ones in between the clusters, okay? So you're going to insert your hook. I'm going to insert my hook right in between this cluster here. Insert my hook there and make a slip stitch, and then I'm going to chain 3 to count as my first double crochet. And then this round is really simple. You're just going to make 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets into every space. So I'll go ahead and show you. So you have your your first 3 double crochet, which is just this chain 3. You're going to make 2 more double crochets into this same spot here. So 1 more. So that's your first cluster. You're going to chain 2 to move on to the next cluster. Again, bringing my yarn over and making 3 double crochets into this space. Oops. And then that's it. And then I'm going to chain 2 to move on to the next space here, bringing my yarn over, insert your hook into that space, and make 3 double crochets. And then to finish, we're just going to go ahead and chain 2. And then we're going to move on to the next chain 2 space. So you're just going to repeat that all the way around, doing 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in there, chain 2, and you're just going to continue that all the way around. You should have a total of 12 clusters, okay? So I will meet you at the end of this round to go ahead and slip stitch and fasten off. Okay, so once you've got to the end and you've done your last cluster and then your chain 2, you're going to go ahead and insert your hook into the top of that chain 3. So right here, and again you're just going to slip stitch and chain 1, pull up a loop and fasten off. Okay, so that's what it should look like. You should have 12 clusters with chain 2s in the middle, and that is round 3. For round 4, we're going to go ahead and grab our next color, and again we're going to make a slip knot and attach our yarn. Okay, so we're going to grab that and make a slip knot, and then we're going to insert a hook like we've been doing and attach our yarn. So again, I'm going to attach the yarn right here in this chain 2 space, insert my hook, make a slip stitch, And to start, we're going to chain 3 like we've been doing. So 1, 2, 3. And in this round, we're going to repeat row 3. So we're just going to make the same thing we did in this round. We're going to repeat it in round 4. So just 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. And we're going to continue that all the way around. So I'll make a couple with you here, and then I will meet you at the end. Chain 2, yarn over, insert my hook. Oops, what did I do there? Okay. And this is a very, very, very easy project, and a very cute project. I love the way mine came out, and this is why I'm making another one so I can change them up from time to time. But it's super simple and a great way to upgrade your ugly stools that you have lying around, if you have any, because I do. So yeah. So you're just going to continue that all the way around with your 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in every single chain 2 space. Okay, so once you've gotten to the end and you've done your last cluster and you chain 2, again, we're just going to insert a hook into the top of that chain 3 and slip stitch, chain 1 and fasten off. It is going to start curling up on you, but that's okay. Just means we're doing the right thing. So that's what round 1, 2, 3, 4 looks like. So for round 5, we're gonna go ahead and grab our next color. And again, we're just gonna repeat the same process of making a slip knot and attaching our yarn. Okay, I'm gonna go right here, slip knot, and then chaining 3, 1, 2, 3. So for this round, sorry, I'm looking at my notes, we're going to do 3 double crochets into this first one. So this counts as our first double crochet. So yarn over and make 2 more double crochets into this space here. Oops. We're going to chain 2 and we're going to move right on to the next chain 2 space. And in this chain 2 space, we're going to make an increase. So that consists of 3 double crochets and then a chain 2 and then another 3 double crochets into that same space. So 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then 3 double crochets right into that same space to make an increase. Okay, and then we're going to chain 2 to move on to the next cluster, or the next space, sorry. I'm going to still grab my yarn and move it along. And we're going to, again, just make 1 cluster of 3 double crochets in there. Oops, let me move my yarn to the back. And then we're going to chain 2 to move on to the next space. And again, in this one, we're just going to go ahead and make an increase. So that is going to be the repeat for this round. It's just going to be 3 double crochets, chain 2, move on to the next space, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets into the same space, and then chain 2 to move on to the next space. So that's what it's going to be. It's going to be 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets into the same space, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then an increase again. So you're just going to repeat that pattern all the way around, and you should have a total of 18 clusters at the end, okay? So I will meet you at the end of this round. Again, if you need help, just go ahead and keep pausing and rewinding it. And I just want to pop on here and say that when you're doing this round, just keep making sure you're stopping and looking back and making sure you're doing the right pattern, because you don't want to get to the end and have to frog it just because you messed up on a piece of the pattern on this round. So I'm just working on my last increase here. Okay, and then I'm going to count to make sure I have 18 clusters. Chain 2 to finish. So I should have 18. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Perfect. So I'm going to insert my hook into the top of this chain 3 like we've been doing and make a slip stitch, chain 1 to secure, and fasten off. Pull tight. And that is round 5. I'm going to grab my next color. Oops. Okay. And then again, we're just going to go ahead and make a slip knot and attach our yarn. Round 6 is just going to be a repeat round of round 3, which is just the 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then move on to the next one. So we're going to insert our hook. I'm going to insert my hook into this space here. And then every single chain 2 spot, even in the increases, we're going to make a cluster of 3 double crochets. And then to move on, we're going to chain 2. And you should have a total of 18 clusters of 3 double crochets at the end. So I just made my cluster, chain 2. I'm going to move over my yarn and make another cluster here. Like I said, this round is the easier round, where you just make a cluster in each space like we did in round 3. Chain 2 between every space, between every cluster, and then just keep going all the way around. Chaining 2. Okay, so you're just going to continue that all the way around with a total of 18 clusters, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, so once you've gotten to the end, and you're going to go ahead and chain 2 to finish, again, you're just going to do the same thing. Insert your hook into the top of that 3 chains, chain 1, pull up that loop, and fasten off. Pull that tight, and that is round 6. So for round 7, we're gonna go ahead and do something a little bit different, but not too different, so don't be scared here. We're gonna attach our next color the same way we've been doing this tutorial, making a slip knot, insert your hook. Again, I'm going to attach my yarn here, slip knot or slip stitch, chain 3, and now we're going to make 3 more double crochets into this space for a total of 4 double crochets. Okay, so that's 3, and I'm going to make 1 more in there. Again, we're going to chain 2 to move on to the next chain 2 space here. I'm going to grab my yarn and bring it over, and we're just going to make 4 double crochets into this space also. We're going to make 4 double crochets into every single chain 2 space. So instead of 3 double crochets chain 2 into every single space, we're just going to go ahead and make 4 double crochets chain 2. Again, very, very easy. It just gets longer as you go about each round because it does get bigger and bigger, but it doesn't get as complicated, or it doesn't get complicated. So 4 double crochets chain 2, move on to the next one. Move my yarn to the back. That's 3, make 1 more. And then I'm going to, chain 2. So I'm going to continue that all the way around, again, for a total of 18 clusters. And I'll meet you at the back, or at the end here, to fasten off and all that jazz. So let's just continue. Again, this is just 4 double crochets, chain 2, and repeat it all the way around. Okay, so let me do my last cluster here of just, 4 double crochets. Oh my goodness. Okay. And then chaining 2. Again, I'm going to attach or slip stitch right into the top of that chain 3, chain 1, and I'm going to fasten off. And that is round 7. So now for round 8, we're going to repeat round 5. So round 5 was a increase round. So we're going to grab our next color. And we're going to go ahead and attach it. And we're going to do an increase round. Chaining 3, 2, 3. So what we're going to do is just do 3 double crochets in this space, with that chain 3 counting as one of them. So that's 3 double crochets. Chain 2. We're going to move on to the next space and we're going to make a increase. So again, that's 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, all into the same space. So that's 3 double crochets. I'm going to chain 2, and then again into the same space, I'm going to make 3 double crochets for that increase. Chain 2 to move on to the next space. And again, we're just going to make 1 double crochet, or 1 cluster of 3 double crochets into this space. Chain 2 to move on to the next space, and we're going to make a increase, and that's going to be the pattern all the way around for this round, which is just 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in the same spot, and that's going to give you a total of 27 clusters. Okay, so we're going to continue this all the way around. 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and we're going to repeat that all the way around with a total of 27 clusters. Okay, so I will meet you at the end of this round. Okay, so once you've done your last increase and you've done your chain 2, again, we're going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3 space. Chain 1 to secure, and then we're going to fasten off. And then I'm going to grab my next color, and round 9 is just going to be a repeat round of round 7, which is just the 4 double crochets, chain 2, and then 4 double crochets all the way around. So I'll go over some of that with you. So I'm just going to attach my yarn. I'm going to attach it right into this space here. I'm going to chain 3 to make my first double crochet, and then I'm going to make 3 more double crochets into this space for a total of 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then last one 4. And then I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to work into the next space. Oh my goodness. That's 3, and then we're going to make one more for 4, chain 2, and then I'm going to work right into the next space, and you're just going to continue that all the way around like we did for round 7, and you should have a total of 27 clusters, okay? So you're just going to continue 4 double crochets, chain 2, 4 double crochets, chain 2, all the way around for a total of 27 clusters. I will meet you at the end to go ahead and attach and fasten off. Okay, so once you've done your last cluster of 4 double crochets and you've chained 2, again, just go ahead into the top of this, chain 3, chain 1, and fasten off. And sorry if you can't see the whole thing, it is getting bigger, so it's hard to fit into this frame here. But the next 2 rounds, or the next, 3 rounds from round 10 to round 12 are all going to be the same steps. So we're just going to repeat round 3, which is just the 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Again, I'm going to attach my yarn. And I will do some of these on camera with you. So go ahead and attach my yarn, slip stitch, and then chain 3 to start. Counts as my first double crochet. And then I'm going to make 2 more double crochets into this same space. Oops. I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to go right into the next space. I might weave in this end this time just because it's a little bit longer. I don't want it to show, but I'll show you at the end on how to do that. So I'm going to make 3 double crochets and then chain 2 on to the next. 3 double crochets, chain 2, and you're just going to repeat that all the way around for a total of 27 clusters with chain 2s in the middle. And you're going to repeat that all the way around. Continue to fasten off like we've been doing the previous rounds, and then from round 10 to round 12 you're going to repeat the same things, just changing your colors, okay? So I will meet you at the end of all those rounds and show you how to cinch on your cover onto your chair. Okay, so after you've made your last round, your 12th round, you're going to go ahead and attach your next color. Sorry if you hear my son in the background. He just woke up from his nap. So we're going to go ahead and attach into any chain 2 spot like we've been doing. And then we're going to chain 3 as our first double crochet. And this time we're just going to make double crochets into every single stitch. We're not going to skip any of these and go into this. We're just going to make double crochets into every single stitch. So right there, into the next stitch, into the next stitch, and then into this chain 2 space, and then into the next stitch. And then we're just going to keep repeating that all the way around. just making a double crochet into every single stitch. And then when you get to this chain 2 spot, just make a one double crochet into that spot, and then move out of that and go to a stitch. So just continue that all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end of that. Okay, so once you've done your last double crochet, go ahead and slip stitch into the top of that chain 3, chain 1, and then fasten off. Pull tight to make a knot. So that's what it should look like. You should have your 12 rows and then a row of just double crochets in every single stitch. And it should start curling up, which is a good thing because you want it to curl up around your stool. So I will show you how to cinch it on to your stool. So you're going to take your last color that you just had and just pull off a large piece, a large string there, and then cut. And you're going to go ahead and thread that yarn onto your tapestry needle. So just go ahead and thread that on. Okay. You're going to leave kind of like a long bit of an end there, and then you have your really, really long end. So you're going to take your cover, you're going to insert it wherever you'd like, and you're just going to weave your needle back and forth around the whole entire trim of the bottom. Just pulling, and then you're just going to continue going back and forth, back and forth. No one's going to see this part because it is going to be at the bottom of your stool. It's just to cinch it in so it stays tight. So again, just back and forth, and you're going to continue that all the way around. And then I will meet you back when we go all the way around and meet back here, okay? Okay, so once you've weaved all the way around and met back here, you can just, oh my god, what kind of words were that? You can just go ahead and cut. And then don't do anything yet with these. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to put it on your stool and cinch it, okay? Okay, so this is my stool. Very, very cringe. I'm going to go ahead and grab my cover, and I'll show you how to put it on there. So you're going to go ahead and take your cover and put it on there. Move it around a little bit so everything is even. And then you're going to find your loose strands. Oh, there it is. So I'm going to push that in there. So these are your loose strands here, okay? What you're going to do is just tie a knot, and then, oh, you okay? You're going to tie a knot, and you're going to cinch it in like that so it's tight. And then you're just going to make another knot. So go ahead and make a knot, tie tight, and then fasten those off there. My son is like scratching at the door. And then just go ahead and cut. And that is what the chair cover looks like, okay? So if you need it to be bigger, you can just go ahead and add an extra row of the double crochets all the way around. And that's all. All right, so that is the tutorial on how to make a crocheted stool cover or a crocheted chair cover. So if you found this video helpful, go ahead and leave a like, a comment, share with a friend, subscribe if you want to. It'll help my channel. So yeah, this is a very pretty crochet cover. I have like 2 of them, and I enjoyed making this video. I hope you enjoyed making it, and I hope you love your outcome. So yeah, that's all for now, and until next time, bye guys.